Greetings everyone, please give a moment to make sure everything's set on up. Sorry, it seemed like somebody was... I just saw exclamation mark down there. Sorry, got distracted. Let's see now. Let me make sure everything's set on up. Activate the... whatchamacallit? Chat windows. Looks like Rumble's going. Twitch is going. Twitter is going. YouTube is going. There we go. Chat windows should be all going now. And I think everything is good to go. Is my microphone going? Yes, it is. Sometimes I forget to check that and my microphone isn't going. Give me a moment to check my other computer. And looks like everything's good to go. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's see. Let's start with this replay here. Oh, Sandy. Greetings everyone, and Great here for another Advance Wars Days of Ruin Tiny Wars replay. Spawn on the top side as the Magenta Tasha. We got Tisho. Spawn on the south side as the Blue Grat. We got Pepe Popo. When it comes to the COs, Tasha is buffing the cartridge counterpart. She's the all-offensive CO. Has the standard boarding cost, 1 radius, 30, 60, 60. All units get, of course, the standard plus 10. All area units get plus 40% offense, plus 20% defense, and does get plus 2 movement range when they move, starting the movement start out from the CO zone. So that is the bit of buff there. So her air movements, she can get a very strong strike, air strike group with that plus 2 movement, to say the least. And of course, everything's like that is global, but instead of plus 2 movement, it is a staggering plus 4 movement. I have no idea how effective that is. It's actually a little bit difficult to make use of the CO zone since it's so small, but it allows her CO unit to move around, glide around the battlefield with severe firepower. Grat is a custom CO from Tiny Wars. It is standard boarding cost, has inherently 0 radius, does have a relatively fast expansion at 20, 50, 50, so it just needs 2 kills to effectively get her plus 1 CO zone to boost up nearby units. They get the standard plus 10 offense, and all units, including direct units, get plus 1 max rage. So effectively turns all of her direct units into battleships with very short range, but has range, to say the least. Means they don't take retaliation damage, and I also think indirect fire units such as like artillery pieces and anti-tanks won't also retaliate either, even if they are in range. Like anti-tank does usually retaliate, but no, I actually don't know. Does anti-tanks tend to retaliate if they receive fire, but will they retaliate from something that's firing away from 2 range? That's usually a direct unit. I wonder if there's some weird things happen there. Maybe we'll find out. Of course, their CO power is reduced energy cost of 50, plus 10, and plus 2 max range for all units, including direct fire ones. And let's go and get started. While the game is going, I'll cover what the map is. Haven't cast this map before. I see a large number of radar stations. It is not fog of war, but radar stations that do provide income, and they also have 3 defense stars rather than 2, like cities. In Days of Ruin, there's of course a bit of a variation of defense stars. Just because you're familiar with Advanced Wars does not mean you know Advanced Wars Days of Ruin's terrain types. There's a lot more of it, and the stars are drastically different. Just take time, read everything. Just take time, slow down, and read, and realize what the differences are. There's also, it looks like it is a 2-base map, or nope, there's 3 bases, plus an airport and a seaport. And decent amount of sea out on, well, at sea. But we see shores here, and beaches should... Gotta pause it there. Beaches do not provide ship movement, so you will have to pull out a temporary port to allow traversement of the beaches. And there's a decent amount of beaches. You see here, beach, so this area, you can get naval units here. Bridges allow naval movement, but not beaches as well. So, as I mentioned before, and slow down raid stuff, as we all know that bridges are traversable water terrain, but shores are equal to roads when it comes to motorized units. That's something different from other Advanced Wars as well. There's also a pair of already secured temporary airports, so there is some resupply in the middle of the map for your various air units. And we do have an early battlecopter. It looks like a triple base skip for CO battlecopter. So now we've got CO battlecopter. She is trying to make a power play. Wrath here can be loaded up into her own battlecopter. Can outrange Tasha's battlecopter if it's loaded up in there. However, not in range, even for the +1 range. Even if this was a Tasha battlecopter, wouldn't be in range either way. Decides not to CO it. Does go into here there. The +1 range is very useful for many units as well. Gets a quick nuke there. You have now tank deployed on the field. Did not CO the battlecopter, so that means this battlecopter was not in range. Nor did she CO the anti-air as well. Wouldn't be in range either way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, actually 6. If she would have CO'd it and moved infantry from away from here, it would have been range. She could have took out the CO command copter if she would have command the anti-air. Looks like her firepower is high enough where it will one-shot even on 3 defense stars, because plus 40% firepower is a lot. So Tasha's already at 20 energy. Once more, she gets +1 COs. Wait, what the hell? That's a bomber. Okay. This Tasha's just having fun, isn't she? She does another triple base skip, so there's quite a bit of a unit disparity. She's been over doing very well in her engagements, but that's a bomber. On what turn is this? It's Burner Funds, right? That seemed like 18 properties. Definitely not 9 properties. Holy crap, she is making power plays. Of course, the battlecopter is in range of the command battlecopter. No. Let's see. Bomber reaches out with here. So if she were to somehow... No, the battlecopter can't reach the CO zone to support the bomber to charge and hit the anti-air. At this point in time, I think she should have CO'd the anti-air. We got multiple anti-air spawned in the field. I think a Duster would have been a good option as a good alternative. Duster would have free reign on these targets. She did take time to finish off that unit there, that battlecopter. And here comes a bomber. She is going to be very aggressive. Tasha does offer in total plus 30% defense for her air units. You can see here plus 30% defense, so that is a significant amount of defense. And this anti-air is down to 5 health, so... And there are 4 temporary airports, so what damage she does take can be repaired on the front line. Just a bit of out of action time. Oh, you can see all the range attack from that tank, and she took no retaliation damage there. See down here, full 100 health. Two damage. Of course, like I said, temporary report. Let's see now. What damage would this do? 62, 74. could that one-shot the one on top of the road if it was in support of the CO zone? She does. Wait, she has 50 energy. There's no way she can get her CO power this turn, but she's pretty close. And now, that would one-shot an 8-year. Holy crap. I don't know if that's worth it or not. Probably. Now it's at max vet, so it's 50% defense. I can't see the combat effectiveness until it's her turn. No, it's been a while last I've seen Tasha's actually get some very good airplay. Would take a fair amount of damage there, but like I said, temporary airports, she's in range of temporary airports, no problem. In the command copter, would do severely wounded. She has her CO power. She did not go for additional air unit. She should have gone for additional air unit there, because she knows she's going to take some damage on one of these units. So if she would took damage on command copter, she could have fall back, pop her CO power, then push this unit 4 tiles forward, which probably could range the Duster, or even a Battlecopter. Or not Duster, Anti-Air. Does wound both those units. Does have multiple tanks there. Bomber does get shot down. Command copters need to fall back, get onto a temporary airport, maybe the full airport. She needs to pull out some supplementary air units. Maybe just go start pumping out Battlecopter each turn wouldn't be half bad. She has 25,000, so she can forward another bomber. Bombers do cost 20,000 in Days of Ruin, at least in Tiny Wars. Pulls that back to that temporary airport. She does have, of course, the +10/+10 from this side, this radius there, so it's a small benefit there, but I think it would have been safer just go back there. But does have a nice little wall there. Brat won't be able to siege, break through the command copter anytime soon. I think she needs to start spamming out of various aircraft just to get so she can get powerful CO power, because +4 range is not really easy to play around. She has, Tasha has a win condition set on up, just need to prepare for it. Gets a couple free kills there. However, the anti-airs are way too close to these regular tanks. These regular other tanks will reinforce. Grat command tank gets a good shot there. So now only one of these tanks can effectively engage one of these targets. With a plus CO power, she can push this Battlecopter into range. Don't know if that would be a good idea. Guess we'll find out soon enough. Takes out one anti-air. She's also on top of temporary report. I believe that will provide +1 defense star. Oh, guess it won't be. I was going to click on and see if it is, but let's pull it back slightly, which is a good idea. T-Copter. I disagree with T-Copter. I think she needs us to do Battlecopter spam at this point in time, and just get ready to swarm her opponent with Battlecopters of CO power. Great first strike there. Finish off that unit there. Puts a good round into that Battlecopter. May fall back. Merge the 2 5-health Battlecopters. Try and flip the property. Right now, Grat's at 26,000. Tasha's at 23,000 income. There's a couple despicable neutral properties in the corners still. Charging forth the Battlecopters. Does get a nice little kill there. Including our command copter. That command copter is going to go down the current rate. Oh, I guess she's not really planning to use her CO power. Though it is protected, barring from this Battlecopter. This Battlecopter's in range. ATR probably can't reach that Battlecopter. Can at least take out this one. Another Battlecopter ATR mech. Oh, mech into transport. Which can get +4 movement range thanks to Tasha's superpower, or +2 range with the CO zone. And that will finish off the command copter. That must have been calculated. Decides not to really add to push the CO power. Next battlecopter could be CO'd as well. Another tank. Good kills over here, but that tank will be intercepted. Groot ends the turn with 93,000. Tasha starts with 70,000. She lost a good amount of value so far. Groot's command tank does go down. Takes out that battlecopter, no problem. Booster strike there. This battlecopter maybe will finish off. Deal 3 damage, so no. And that anti is precisely at 20 health. Does finish off that tank there. Mech deploy in the front line. And now this T-Copter does have boosted range next turn. Oops. Another base skip. A lot of base skips by Tasha. Good strikes there. Battlecopter strikes the tank. Did not decide to strike the command copter. And a lot of Tasha's tanks are quite wounded, but she does have a mech here. But the mech is out of range of any of these tanks. Can hit the infantry unit. Takes out that unit there. And we'll start flipping some of these properties down south. T-Copter push away forward. I don't think he got the boosted movement range. Try and pick up another mech, looks like. Maybe infantry unit. This anti-air should be able to range the command copter. Taking out that 2 off tank is going to be no issue. Actually, oh yeah, there's a shore there, so can still range it. That was a good strike on that tank. Even throw some machine gun rounds into it. Does not take a swipe with the command copter. That's interesting. I think it would have been worth it to put a couple rounds of that command copter. First strike there, gets an increased CO zone. Mech finished off the tank. Takes out that unit there. I've got a decent sortie of battlecopters. She's at 48 energy. Possible CO power next turn. Which I think sending over a battlecopter over here would be quite nice. Help displace this tank. This tank is in range of that tank, so maybe it does not need to send a battlecopter there. With multiple tanks now, the artillery piece there. Sending over a battlecopter over there wouldn't be half bad. Gets a good strike on that battlecopter. Takes the mech. Command copter does take a pretty good hit there as well. She is at 49 energy. A lot of targets in front of her. There's a good chance she could pop her superpower next turn. Maybe just a 3 health battle command copter. Pull it back, pop the superpower. I mean, the artillery piece can get some good damage in the tank there. It'll be easy to get her superpower. Takes out that tank, giving her just needs 5 more energy. Multiple T-Copters. What is this? And there's the CO power. I think she should pop it. Decides not to pop it. Lots of good hits there. I mean, +4 range battlecopter. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4. Should be able to range this right there. Connect the service successfully. That's probably something on my side. Groot's command tanks at 18 energy. +1, 2 more energy, and then she'll get a +1 CO zone, allowing for a bit of a mobile artillery barrage. Takes the mech there. Takes the wounded battlecopter. Possible deployment CO power. This battlecopter would be in range of this battlecopter. I think CO power, then this one could just charge over here. T-Copters can be pushed forward by 4 range as well, which could be quite absurd, honestly. Does not go for the CO power. That's interesting. Gotta make sure to take out this Battlecopter. Battlecopter can take out the Battlecopter. Whoops. Multiple mechs in the center. Another Battlecopter. Right now, Grot starts turn 70,000. Tasha ends turn 112. So Tasha has a great position. We got a cruiser on the field. That's a very desperate in my opinion. There is not a lot of area for the cruiser to patrol and contest on the field. I think the cruiser is a bad idea. How much does a cruiser cost in Days of Ruin? I always forget. 1,600, 16,000 is still a decent amount. Oh, there's a superpower. Now this Battlecopter can reach out all the way around here, even strike the command tank. Of course, the T-Copters can move pretty far with a mech loaded inside of them. There's a good strike there. Lots of good damage. She also gets +10/+10 global, which is very useful. Gunboat. Gunboats can traverse the shores, and that could be a cheap way to help engage that cruiser. Cruiser takes out the Battlecopter. Okay, so those are the cruiser managed to score a kill. Anti-air gets a good strike there. Matter as well. Gunboats only have 1 ammo, so it needs to charge forward, take a shot on the cruiser, and falls back. This gunboat's just going to be an annoying counter to the cruiser overall. Tasha does have double tank up here. Now it's her turn. Tank does go down. Gunboats transports infantry in a small distance. Mech gets a good strike on the anti-air. Tank heading down south. Battlecopter strikes the command tank. Battlecopters try and get some frontline repairs, not trying to merge them. And the tanks are pushing a decent way forward. Artillery gets a great strike on the cruiser. I always forget how much damage artillery can do to cruisers. Ships don't really take too much damage from land, but when certain units just hit them really hard. I know they rebalanced Navy, so Navy's actually fun to a certain degree in Days of Ruin. Grats at 35 NG. Global +2 range can be a game-winning stance, but it's very difficult to get that. And I think Tasha's mech is in range. I think Tasha's mech can take out the Grot command tank. Grot's command tank doesn't have too many boosted stats. Let's see, Grot ends the turn with 79,000. Tasha is 94 plus a day-to-day income. Grot's command tank does go down, and the anti-air does get machine gun. This capture progress has another 18 left there, so it's not going to happen anytime soon. Even if it does survive for the entire game, it probably won't even get the capture. Gunboat falls back. Battlecopter, mech, and double infantry. Good strikes there. Tasha's command copter could go down this turn. Great strike there from Grot. Trying to stop the property from being flipped. Tasha has 26,000. Grot has 25. One despicable neutral property in the corner. Couple more tanks there. Good strike there onto the command tank. Command tank stays alive, but only has 9 energy. Losing is not a massive issue at this one time. Is that a battleship? We got a full battleship on the map. So a Tasha battleship has been deployed. Grat's command tank gets a kill. Cruiser gets a shot there. Gunboat can charge his way forward. The gunboat can also try to just block the roads or bridges. Battleship gets a great strike there. Takes out that battlecopter. Mech takes out that command tank. Cruiser goes down. Mech takes the anti-air. There's a good shot there. T-copter pushing back up north. Trying to send this infantry unit to the corner to capture the despicable neutral property. And you've taken an opportunity to try to get this radar installation. And somehow the gunboat did not kill the cruiser or even hit it. Grat's command copter gets a good strike there onto the battleship. Good strike there onto the tank. Takes out the infantry unit there. Grat's command copter does take a nice strike there. Wonder how much damage this tank can do to it. It would do a decent amount of damage. Because right now you can look here, the health is 3, but its actual health is 21, so it only has 1% in the HP number 3, so 1 point damage would reduce it by 1, so even throwing this mech into it would be very cost effective. Yeah, I think pulling back this 1 HP mech and not throwing into the battlecopter was a bad idea. 1% damage would be very good. And now I've got a full fighter deployed on the field by Tasha. I think that is a bit of a power play because, or just a show dominance play, because there is only a 3 health command copter left on the field. She doesn't need a fighter. Is that a battleship or cruiser? I can never tell these apart. It is a full battleship as well. Now I've got a chain of mechs heading up north. Command fighter now pulling the field, an ace. Battleship is a good strike there, boosted from the CO zone by 10%. Lots of good hits there. I think Tasha's really running away. She's 111,000 in the field with 17,000 bay. Grat has 51. At this point in time, I think it's just game over. Meteor does go down, takes out the tank, good shot there. And do have now a bomb in the field at a more appropriate time. And Tasha and Grat, at this point in time, I think Grat should just probably back the game. She does see her into a battleship, giving +1 range, which is pretty good for the battleship. Got multiple properties being kept on the right flank. Nothing much Garrote can do. Another bomber. Mech's engaging that tank, preparing that tank there. Now we got a fighter deployed by Garrote. Yep, battle bomber's in range of the battleship. The fighter can push forward, provide its aura, and then the bomber maybe will one-shot that battleship. I don't know how much damage a bomber does to a battleship that's CO'd on top of a harbor. Yeah, 50% damage, plus 40% damage will be quite significant. There's my answer. Gets a good damage there. We do have the fighter here and anti-air, so the Tasha's command fighter may go down this turn. Good strike there. Battleship gets a good strike. Decides to throw around the bomber onto the command fighter. Mech, anti-air. It does base block that, well, base. Battleship gets a good strike there on the mech. Bomber takes out the bomber. Fighter on fighter. And the bomber nukes the anti-air. There's nothing more I can really say. The game's pretty much over. More bombers being deployed on the field. That CO'd bomber, now that this other bomber could be pushed forward. Trying to capture the harbor, can deploy out a forward battleship, maybe an aircraft carrier to get forward seaplanes. Okay, so the mech capturing up that base. Apparently she has enough firepower to take out anti-air on top of a base. She is the offensive air specialist, so her aircraft hits really hard. And somehow this gunboat has not crossed to her opponent's side of the map. Strange. I could have sworn that gunboat's going to be aggressive and just be annoying, but apparently not. You have now Missile deployed on the field, Missile and APC. Yep, that's... I understand. Sprout has 46,000 on the field. And that is game. This Angrade saying, thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. Oops, not... I hit F10 to bring up the menu, but that's not the... whatchamacallit? What the hell? I think I broke the game. Ah. I have no idea what happened. I hit F10 and then it starts bugging out. Give me a moment to refresh the game client because of the error 12s. Let's see, that replay is complete. On to this replay. Greetings everyone, and Grade here for another Advance Wars Days of Ruin Tiny Wars replay. Small on the bottom right side is the teal or turquoise, what was that? Judy? Yes, Judy. We have a Sixel. Small on top left side is the magenta Zhao Teitong. We have Dead Aztec with 2 A's, or 2 Z's. Not 2 A's. I suppose 2 A's. You can see an A in front of D and after D. Either way, it comes to COs, both are custom COs. Zhao Teitong, he has minus 90% boarding cost, no CO zone, no CO expansion, no CO energy, and the CO zone is effectively not even existing as well. He can board his unit at minus 90% cost, which means you get the when the CO unit boards the unit, you get that you get 90% refund rebate of the production cost unit. Additionally, it does also make it so it does still retain the full veteran state, but no CO power or superpower, no zone benefits, so that is basically it. Cannot board naval units that are located on HQ because some maps are like that. Judy is the salvage specialist. She has 30% of boarding costs, 3 CO zone, no expansion, no energy, no art designer or questionable art designer, maybe just AI generated. Howdy. And of course she gets plus 20% offense, plus 10% defense, receive funds 30% of the damage of your CO zone units dealt to units. So you get 30% salvage. And looks like my YouTube chat is still bugged out. I need to figure out how to fix that. Probably update the program for the chat I use, because right now it's not pulling it up. Should be visible. Maybe if I just do that. Dude looks so wide when they're side by side like that. Not really. Either way, let's go ahead and actually get started. Let's see now, this map is... Of course, it is a double base map for both sides. Plus 1 airport, so it's probably going to be a decent amount of battlecopters deployed out this game. And more bases, less battlecopters seem like. This map does offer 1 radio station and no comm towers. Radar provides plus 3 defense stars rather than plus 2. Still provides income. In general, while in Advance Wars, Dual Strike, and by Web, a lot of unique properties don't necessarily provide income, but in Days of Ruin, most of the unique properties do provide income. Do have a bike now deployed on the field by Judy. Now think about it, these 2 COs are relatively similar counterparts. One gives you value for fighting, the other one gives you value return for just simply building up your CO unit. So both of them have a slight economic advantage to each other. And Judy does not provide... Oh, it does provide a bit of CO zone firepower, 20% and 10%. Does load herself up into a recon, trying to salvage their guns and carcasses. And early APC, that's interesting. We do also... Oh, this is early APC by both sides. That's very unusual. Guess both players trying to push over the left side. APC and recon to charge on in over here. Of course, there's no fog of war, so you can make a pretty good measured guess where your opponent's units are, like right here. Battlecopter, infantry. Battlecopter would be a decent counter to the tank. Judy could charge forward for command tank and let the battlecopter come in reserve. We got a battlecopter down here, over here as well. Battlecopter is somewhere in the middle, so it's easy to get into combat pretty quickly, even for air units. Does get a bit of salvage here by striking this unit. Good strike there. Puts a round into the APC, which is not exactly a critical unit. Got multiple battlecopters here. Both sides are pulling out a large number of battlecopters. And double infantry there. Judy could... battlecopter's out of range of the opponent's battlecopters, so can't get any shots there. His infantry unit there gets a bit of salvage. APC or rig falls back there. I always forget to call rigs in this game rather than APC, so my apologies if I make that mistake. Good shot there onto the battlecopter. And there as well. Falls back there. Battlecopter pushes forward, strikes the command copter. Lose the command copter, so that costs what? 1,000 funds? Basically, how this CO wants to play, you're really going to be hyper-aggressive to your CO units because since you get 90% rebate, means that 9,000 cost battlecopter turns into a 900 fund cost battlecopter. So it's even that battlecopter was even cheaper than an infantry unit. You have now dust deployed on the field by Grot, or not Grot, Judy, so she's able to really counter these battlecopters. I do like it. Got a good amount of salvage there as well. That is Advance Wars Days of Ruin. Of course, it's the web version of it, so it's off the tinywars.online game. Good strike there, get some good hits. Or you're talking about the matchup. You're probably talking about the matchup. You probably know what the game is. Sorry. I am a little bit brain dead. Good shot there. Anti-air heading down south. Hasn't reloaded his CO unit. I really think how to play the CO, you gotta be hyper-aggressive CO units because it's not worth all too much. What? Oh, but that's a war tank. Better CO into that. get a pretty decisive, get a 90% rebate onto it. And this APC or Recon doing some good work there, getting some decent salvage. Medium tank core explorer in the field. Does not lose that battle copter somehow. It's down to 1 HP. No, I don't know what the game is I got recommended. What's the most similar modern game? You know? There's not really a most similar modern game. This is actually a game that was originally released on the Nintendo DS. Or, yeah, Nintendo DS during the DS Lite era. Advance Wars series is a pretty old series and a very fun series. Got the command tank and load up in the war tank. The seal load on the war tank. Blah, I cannot speak. And we do have actually a fighter deployed on the field, so it looks like Purple's really on the tech up. Medium tank push way forward. Again, anti-tank down here. Anti-tanks are pretty slow, but they're pretty good. Finish off some of these outlying units there. Get a decent amount of salvage with a CO zone. I know about Axis Allies, that old board game. Never really played it. Good shot there on the Recon. And the bike did not get enough firepower to take out the infantry unit. At 1 health for infantry unit versus 1 health infantry unit, it's basically a toss-up. And the fighters push way forward, trying to hunt down the Duster, who's now maximum veterancy, so does have a decent amount of way to can defend itself. Decent amount of tech up here as well. Both players are really teching up with the higher tier units. I guess Judy really gets a lot of salvage. Of course, Zhao Taitong got a decent amount, of course, rebate with his command units. The fighter's going to be a bit difficult for Judy to deal with. Maybe anti-air will be useful, which she does have one down here. Yes, if you're familiar with Advance Wars by Web, Tiny Wars is the Days of Ruin counterpart. And overall, the website's actually much nicer, in my opinion. You don't have to worry about any plugins, play sound, and everything is pretty clean. It's easy to pick up Tiny Wars. Got an artillery piece here, an infantry, and a T-copter. Good shot there. Anything falling back? Anti-air tank and mech there. Drops mech there. Duster moving around. Takes the medium tank there. And now the fighter push way forward, blocking the road. Anti-air is way back here. The other anti-air is way down here, so the fighter will block the road. Because Advanced Wars logic, aircraft can block roads, or block pathing. And all you can do is hurl harsh language sometimes. That'll come push way forward. I wonder how effective this max vet duster would be against to a fighter. Deal 56 damage. Actually, I would take that fight. But of course, there's anti-air here to retaliate. You take push way forward, good strike there on the tank. Anti-air push way forward. War tank can range the war tank, but does have the support of the anti-tank. And now we've got a fighter here to engage the fighter. Does take the shot there against the fighter, and I think it rolled almost max luck as well, so it got additional point of damage. Good shot there. Duster does go down. The fighter can go down. Probably best to use the fighter to engage the battle copter and then use the anti-air to engage the fighter. The war tank took some severe damage. Of course, the anti-tank is still in range. We'll be able to get a good amount of salvage there. Remember as well, this command tank did receive a heavy discount, so not a big thing to lose. There's a big item to lose. Bike war tank fighter. Oh. So the fighter's trying to engage the fighter. And the problem is the anti-air is in range, so the fighter has coverage, anti-air coverage. War tank does go down. Could seal the battlecopter if it needs a forward CO zone immediately. Or I could just CO in the war tank once again. I'm thinking actually more battlecopter at this point in time. Tank. Does seal the war tank. Fighter does a good strike there. Got an anti-tank next by, and next turn that fighter will be healed up to 7. Another tank down there. Mech. Look at the funding difference, 21,000 versus 14. That is very significant. But teal or turquoise can capture the left side of the map, takes the anti-tank and some of those outlying units. Good strike there on the battlecopter. So overall, purple has a massive advantage. Good strike there, double tank. Artillery piece in good range. Tank blocking the bridge. Fighter does strike the fighter. And this is going to be a property flip, so Judy's going to be even farther behind. I think she's only staying in because all the salvage, because there's been some massive conflicts there, getting a lot of salvage from her CO zone. But she's lacking a lot of assets here for that. Fighter does take out that there. Tank moves over there. T-copter falls back. Trying to probably transport a newly fresh spawned unit. Tank. Good strike there. There's still a full health war tank, which will probably range the artillery piece. Getting some decent salvage there. Assuming she spent all of her money, she did get about 6,000 extra funds this turn. Able to keep up with the economy. Right now she's 101,000 for 73, so she is lacking a bit of units in the field as well. And fighters are sitting back here, getting repaired on up. There's only one battlecopter here to engage, for it to find and take it out. And I got another battlecopter there. Engaging that anti-tank there. Picks up the bike there. Tank finished off the tank. Of course, the mech will get a good counter strike. One fresh health infantry unit there. Battlecopter pushing up north. War tank out of range of the war tank. And now I've got a rocket deployed in the field. And the fighter decides the base to lock the airport. How rude. But the interior can retaliate. It will be at 5 health next turn. Battlecopter. I think as well, this fighter's in range of the CO zone, so Judy will get a decent amount of salvage there. War tank does not engage the war tank, gets a good strike in that regular tank. Battlecopter gets a good strike there on the war tank. Finish off the infantry unit there. We start to capture some of these properties. A 1 health infantry unit there, just be a bit of a body blocker. Rocket pushing up north, anti-air, anti-tank. So decent amount of direct fire by Judy. As well, even more of our property is starting to be flipped down here, and Zhao Titong has a massive force down here as well of tanks. So the anti-tank squad are just trying to lock down the region, maybe try to pull on top of the HQ or on top of the city. War tank's in range the war tank and may be a one-shot. It's on top of a road. Yeah, we'll be able to take the war tank. Artillery piece right there. Anti-air will not be able to range the fighter. Go straight for the battlecopter. Bonnie's got another. Does have a bike there. Battlecopter probably engaged over here. A full bomber deployed in the field does seal inside of the war tank as well, so the CO unit will not go into the bomber. A lot of units push away forward up there. Unable to engage the mech. The mech will get a good strike on this tank here. Anti-tank and tank blocking the road. The bridge. And we'll actually fully deploy our temporary airport. Good strike down the command tank. And of course, got this war tank push way forward. Bomber sitting over here as well, as was a fighter. You have a Duster here to help engage some of these various air units. War tank has one shot left, so it has been consuming quite a bit of its ammo. These are some of these outlying units. Got another Duster here. Two Dusters should be able to contend against a single reasonable fighter, but this Duster got hit by anti-air. And looks like now Purple's on push way forward. This tank will probably need to fall back because the anti-tank is in range. But the anti-tank can. There's nothing here to really push through the anti-tank. It's only be able to be hit by one unit. So the anti-tank can stay there. Make it support up by another vehicle. Zhao Titong ends the turn of 145,000 field. Judy starts the turn of 85. She's been having a really bad income this entire game. Gets a good strike through the rocket. Good strike there under the bomber. Takes out a bomber. Interrupts the capture there. Command tank here almost goes down, which honestly leaving that command tank down with 1 health means it won't be able to do much, and it may be a good idea for him just to sack it or even just outright delete it if he can't lose it this turn. Bike gets a good strike there on the anti-tank. Got artillery deployed out over here to help support the anti-tank. Good strike on the Dusters. Duster does go down there. Fighter takes out that unit. All of Turquoise's aircraft are now down. Down to 60,000 versus 121 is really looking bad for Judy. Thing as well, most of these aircraft are now sort of useless. Goes for a medium tank and that's it. Anti-tank needs to fall back, probably to the HQ. Mech Battlecopter tank. Overall, I think Judy will probably lose the game. It's the lack of income has been her whole issue. She's been fighting very well from behind, but not well enough to say the least. Now the tanks can push the way forward, zone out everything over here. Has nothing to really stop all this. The anti-tank is going to pose a problem. The regular tank already breached the bridgehead, and making great headways up there. It even takes out, basically knocks out the command tank. There goes the rocket. And now we've got 135 with still 13,000, so 150 versus just 56. It's basically triple the value. Battlecopter infantry there. Of course, Teslas can't really do much versus medium tanks. Tank, Battlecopter tank. And Turquoise has surrendered. This Angrade saying thank you for watching, and on to next replay. Before we get started next replay, I do need to use the restroom. Please give me one moment. My apologies, I am back. Just need to grab a drink as well. Right now, my allergies are really kicking in from grass, and where I work at, they just cut the grass, so my allergies are a little bit on the overdrive. Let's see now. Get rid of that. On to this one. And here we are. Greetings everyone, and Great here with another Advance Wars Days of Ruin Tiny Wars replay. Spawn bottom right side as the OD green Cyrus. We got Billy Bone. Spawn top left side as the red Zhao Teitong. We got Pepe Popo. When it comes to the CO, Zhao Teitong is a custom CO, minus 90% boarding costs. So effectively, you get a 90% rebate on pawn loading a CO into a unit. No power, no superpower, no aura benefits, just that. That's his whole deal. Cyrus is technically a custom CO, even though it does use a Days of Ruin character. As standard 50, 30, 30, 60, 60, standard boarding and CO zones. All units get plus 15, plus 15. Additionally, when his superpower is activated, his CO unit becomes unloaded and able to reload into any CO unit on the field. It also allows him to fire a relatively weak Mr. Silo at his own choosing of a location. So you can tech up your CO unit without necessarily have to lose it. And you generally don't want to lose it by... you just generally don't want to lose a CO unit. So, let's go get started. This map is a triple base map. One is neutral. This map I think got undergone with a little bit of changes. I don't remember a mountain here last time I checked. I thought there was just straight roads. I don't remember ruins there either. So I think this map has undergone some balance changes, or this could be completely different with what I'm thinking. Also, both players do start off an airport. And of course, just initial capture game. There's a handful of properties in the center, handful of properties in the corners. And no comm towers, nothing really special. Good number of bikes on field. There's a good amount of roads for the bikes to utilize, so this is probably a decent map for wheeled vehicles. Recon, infantry. So do have an early recon. And do have a counter recon. That's interesting. I would assume we probably would have seen a tank or something of that sort. Because that'll be 4,000 of 2,000. Big guy has 6,500, so he would have to do a base skip to get out of tank. Got a tank and infantry and bike, and does want to take the back side, so we'll take an extra turn to get forward. Which may be a good idea to maybe, honestly, I think to pull out the tank up here to engage the opponent's recons. Do now have tank here to engage the opponent's recon and potentially tank. This tank can really go either direction though. If you just take a quick look, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go, that's probably an easier way to look at it. It's relatively equal distance go either direction. So, seeing the tank deployed out there, he could decide to, if he really wants to not avoid the tank, he seems to go up north. Or if he wants to engage the tank, then go left. Oh, ruins. I thought they slowed down movement. What units get... Oh, it only slows down wheeled units by 1 tile. It's not like Wasteland. Okay, that's good to know. I sometimes even thought ruins slow down movement quite a bit like forests and wastelands. It is a hiding spot. It's a 1-star hiding spot, as opposed to forests, which are 3-star hiding spots, and wastelands are not hiding spots in case of fog of war. Though now think about it, Mists and Plains, that's 2 defense stars, so it is similar, the exact same ruins, just providing a 2-star hiding spot in case you needed to have either want to design your map with certain levels of hiding and defense stars. Ruins, I guess, a good way to have hiding spots, but provides no real defensive benefits. In comparison to plains, probably the most common tile deployed on the field, more so than roads. You have a command tank here deployed by Cyrus. And Zaltadon could CO one of these tanks here. It's better to be hyper aggressive for your CO unit for Zaltadon so you get a 90% rebate. After all, let's assume that he will seal his battlecopter here. It costs 9,000 with a 90% refund. It effectively makes that battlecopter only cost 900. Less than an infantry unit, and plus gets max efficiency stats. Good strike there. Of course, got a follow-up tank here to engage the command tank. Right now, they're both at 16,000 income. Red has pretty much free range in the middle of the map. Into your bike. Good strike there. Does get the bike. Good shots there. Got +1 CO zoom now for Cyrus. Goes back to hit these more wounded units since he's pretty wounded right now. He needs another 14 energy. There's 19 energy there. Battlecopter, anti-air, infantry. Tank. Good shots there. Anti-air push up north. Gets good strike on that tank. Relatively even duel right now, but is lacking a bit of reinforcements. Got a tank and battlecopter right there. Overall, green has a lot of infantry up there to start flipping properties. Man, tank backs off there. Red has quite a bit of forces here as well. Another tank and tank infantry. Still no CO unit loaded with the boy on Zhao Teitong, but I think it really needs to be a bit more aggressive when doing that. Good strike on the infantry unit there. Gets a good round there. Battlecopter takes out or puts some rounds on the infantry unit there. And the tank will escape with 3 health remaining. He is down to 1 round as well. 1 health, 1 round. And probably will go down after 1 round of combat. So that infantry unit there, outside the CO zone, so not getting any CO zone energy there. Good shot there. Anti-air rotating up north, a lot of infantry up there. They're both at 16,000 still. Tank, bike. Zhao Teitong now has a CO unit load up inside that tank, getting him a 90% rebate, so it's now it's worth 700 funds. Bike, and anti-air. Good strike there. Now he has a CO power available. He just needs to survive to the next turn to pop it. Maybe I also a very valuable unit this turn. He does not have enough for a war tank. He needs to merge a pair of infantry units together to get enough out for a war tank. Probably just pull out a medium tank this turn then. And that's going to be his future CO unit. Nice outlying picks. Right now, Zhao Teitong has 70,000 in the field versus 67, so they're pretty even. Getting some good strikes there. Battlecopter will have free reign. This anti-air will not be able to reach the battlecopter if it goes right there. So we may see him pull back, fire off the missile silo. Fires it up there. I think it also splashes his own infantry unit there. Not sure if it does friendly fire damage or not. It's at 2% health, so not sure. Of course, he does get plus 15% global, giving a nice little bit of extra firepower to work with this turn, as well as defense. Good strike on that tank. Takes out that infantry there. Command tank up here. Well, oh, he reloaded the command into this tank here rather than to the medium tank. That's interesting. Thought he would have definitely loaded himself up into the medium tank. This tank, yep, we'll go and strike that recon. Good strike that anti-air. He may be able to finish off with the infantry unit. Does. Finish off. Does not take out this guy here. Down to 4 health. Should be able to take out this guy here. Maybe not. This will be a bit of a coin flip, honestly. Just besides pull back the tank. Couple infantry units moving around, tank pushing up north. Double bike now deployed in the field. Good shot there. Bike goes down, tank pushing around, gets a good shot there. Bit of a merge, anti-air heads down south. Anti-air as well. Not too many vehicle or aircraft in the air. I've got a single battlecopter, and that appears to be just it at the moment. Now there's another battlecopter up here. Making some good headway down south against these bikes. Is trying to flip that property. Got multiple tanks, anti-airs, and artillery. Up north, there's still one despicable neutral property. Right now, Zhao Tedong has the income advantage, but it's only ever so slight. And the medium tank is in range. He has sealed into inside this regular tank there. Takes out that tank there. Gets a good shot on the bike. Tank. We do have an anti-tank down here as well. A decent number of bridges go past. I'm not sure the anti-tank was a good idea. It's pretty slow. Good strike there. We'll get some CO zone energy. Almost at the first level expansion. Good shot there on the tank. Infantry unit does go down. Battlecopter mech infantry. It looks like the medium tank will fall back to the city, get healed up, and rearmed. Anti-tank push forward. You gotta recon support him out. There's a good strike there. Tank takes out tank. Right now, Cyrus does have a decent value advantage. But it feels like he's a little bit more defensive at the moment. He is starting to flip some properties, even out the income. Tank. Anti-air tank. Takes out some of these outlying units there. Command tank over here. Doesn't have the... Has 26 NGL, 60. Get some damage there. Did not put any more damage there. ATR is down to 1 health. Battlecopter push way forward. So that's the only thing that engages this battlecopter is this battlecopter. Yeah, he's trying to push up north as well. Overall, green feels like in a pretty good position now. Feels like red has more field control, but this can still go either way. Takes off some of these outlying units there. Takes a good artillery strike there. Pulls back the interior to get some healing going. And now the interior pushing down south. Command tank will not be able to get a CO power this turn, but we'll get perhaps some good energy generation when it comes over here. Tank infantry. Tank does go down, takes the artillery piece. Tank does fall back. It's a good strike on the infantry in there. Medium tank straight forward, full healed up, and also veteran C2. Lots of good strikes there. Battlecopter, bike, and infantry. Apparently that can one-shot that. Some good kills over there at 94,000 versus 94,000. Extremely even at this moment. Of course, still has day-to-day, and this opponent will have his day-to-day as well. Also, anti-tank infantry trying to stabilize the region with an anti-tank. Got a medium tank infantry and bike. And great strike there on that medium tank. Knocks it out pretty decisively. Got, of course, a battlecopter and now 3 tanks as well as a mech. 4th tank there. Red has a massive force here. Green has really nothing to stop all those tanks. Get some great strikes on there. Cyrus almost has enough for a superpower. And very likely can pop it next turn. His command tank does take a good strike there, so probably good to pop his superpower. Good strike there. His superpower is now available. Of course, he can also bring a missile silo strike. Drops it up here. Good strike there. He does see himself into this medium medium tank. Takes out the command copter. Tank, artillery, and infantry. Good strike there. Of course, Cyrus has also got plus 15 global. Team's good defense this turn. Tank, anti-air, battlecopter, infantry. Battlecopter almost goes down. Battlecopter does not go down. Good strike there on that tank. Battlecopter's at 2% health, but I don't think anything nearby can range it. This battlecopter in return has 2% health as well, so both of them will likely go down if either of them track each other. Oh, the 2F infantry was actually in range, so it's managed to gun it down. Anti-tank infantry bike. Still got one despicable neutral property on the field. Tank rotating around, bike hitting down south. tank artillery, or not tank, anti-air, blah. Mine's starting to melt. Decent amount of forces over here. Red has a decent amount of force up here. There's only pretty much infantry here, but which can easily get overran. And got a couple of tanks over here and a battle copter. Got a wounded anti-air to provide fire support, and of course a battle copter hardly is even existing. This bike should be able to pick off that battle copter. Good amount of kills up there. Anti-tank pushing me forward. He has sealed inside the anti-tank. Anti-tanks are relatively expensive. Good strike there. Anti-tanks are 11,000. Decent price for them. So he did get a decent refund with his CO zone. Or CO boarding cost. Takes out that bike there, getting +1 CO zone expansion. Almost at 50 energy, just needs 10 more energy and we get some access to another superpower. Which missile silo shot could be very useful. Loading the CO unit into this medium tank over here could be quite nice to help him front shift. Good shots there, takes out a couple of those units. A good number of units. Still got anti-tank here. Our artillery piece in range. It'd probably be a good idea to machine gun it down first with the infantry unit. Maybe use the anti-tank to finish it off. Good strike down the command tank. And I have a feeling the missile silo will strike right here. I remember from that previous one, I don't think it does friendly fire damage. Guess we'll find out soon enough. I think he should pop his superpower up here. Let's see what he does. There we go, superpower is now available. He did pop it up there. And does CO in that medium tank, gets a good strike there, the +15, +15% global is very useful. Takes the battle copter there. We're now Cyrus at 82,000. Zhao Titong has at 80,000. Very similar, of course, the day-to-day income. So Cyrus is pulling slightly ahead. Tank pushing on the right side. Tank, infantry. Now Cyrus's turn. Got instant turn of 96,000. Cyrus starts the turn of 85, so it's still neck and neck when it comes to value. Of course, Cyrus will get some good amount of CO zone energy up here. This mech may not have to flip the property to get a good strike there, but maybe gotta just try to flip it to get an economic advantage. And right now, Zhao Titong has plenty of tanks down here. Problem is also a pretty good escort for this anti-tank and artillery piece. This anti-tank's also down to 1 ammo, so it needs a resupply. Does capture that property. Lots of good hits there. He is falling back out of this region entirely. And right now it's 18,000 versus 15,000, so the income advantage is reasonable. It can be overcome with good play. Right now, he does have more on the field. 103,000 he ended turn with versus a 76. And another power is soon to be available. Just needs another 15 more energy. He could probably maybe able to deploy that turn, but it would lose a turn to this medium tank. Trying to capture that property. Range just creep his way forward. Anti-tank does fall back for a resupply. As much as he wants to push it forward, he just simply does not have the ammo. Good strikes there. At 59 energy, so next turn he can pop it. Don't think he'll lose the command tank in this turn. Full health and 4 health. That maybe will finish off the medium tank. Orange making some great pushes over here. Nope, he does not take out the command tank. So he will be able to pop his power. And a missicidal strike over here will probably be very good. Those things not popping just yet. He probably needs to seal one of these anti-tanks, probably this unvetted one. Where is he going? He's not going to pop a Suyo power? Oh, pops on top of himself and doesn't do any damage to himself. He does seal this tank right there. Makes some good headways over there. Anti-air bike infantry. Of course, he does also has plus 50% defense this turn, which is going to be very nice. Anti-air bike and tank. Merge right there. Good strike on that tank. Gonna flip that property as well. Anti-tank, just good amount of force here. He is the CO unit is a little bit exposed. Force screen does have a good number of artillery pieces here. Does put some units in front of it though. The artillery piece, however, go down. The anti-tanks are good versus vehicles. Don't get me wrong. It does put another infantry unit in front of it. The command tank does fall back over here. This command tank could go down this turn, but looks like it will not. Good strikes along the flank. Artillery, battlecopter, bike, infantry. Takes out the anti-air. Good strike there on the tank. Takes out that tank. Marines really flipped it around up here. Battlecopter goes down. Anti-tank gets a good strike there. Finish off the battlecopter. Anti-tank gets a strike there on the infantry unit. The artillery piece does not engage the infantry unit as well. Infantry unit does a good hit there, takes out the infantry unit. And the rig does take a pretty good hit there as well. Command battlecopter now pulled in field, pushing down south with it. It looks like a handful of these tanks are falling back. Bike will push forward. And we do now have another anti-tank up north. On the bottom side, Will get a good strike there. These things are in range. Gets a strike on there as well. Some rounds of that artillery piece supply there. Both these artillery pieces are pretty wounded. Tanks pushing along the left side. Looks like in here it does fall back. There's only this one command copter on the field, so nothing too significant. So falling back, it's repairs, not a half bad thing. Battlecopter and triple infantry. Cyrus ends turn of 109,000. Zhao Talon starts returning with 79. So Cyrus has a decent advantage. Takes the battlecopter there. Tank bike. And it's getting some repairs there. And here does take a pretty good strike there. Finish off the regular tank. Goes around the bike. This anti-tank's down to 2 rounds. He does have an APC, of course. And got a couple property flips there. This one could get interrupted. And Red still has a decent income, 3,000 income lead. His property is still a despicable neutral. It looks like this artillery piece will range the Vet 1 tank, bike, anti-air. Tank push over here, we'll finish off that unit. Gets a good strike there. So it looks like both of them. Oh no, I thought this one was going to get interrupted, but it looks like it was this one. Starts the command takes at 55 energy, so very close to power. Some decent shots over here, and we've got tank infantry. Anti-tank still at 1, has 1 ammo remaining. Now he has superpower available, but this the command tank could go down. Got 4 health tank, 7 health tank, and of course a 3 health tank. Takes out the medium tank down there, finish off some of his outlying units. Anti-tank does take a pretty good strike there. This anti-tank's actually out of ammo. Anti-air, tank, and bike. Of course, this anti-tank's out of ammo, so it can't finish off that tank. Finish off those units there with infantry. Good strike there. And does launch a superpower there, so and seals the battlecopter. That surrounds that anti-tank. Tank, infantry. Bike heading down south. Got another battlecopter there. That tank does go down. Anti-air does take a pretty good strike. The tank does go down, takes out some of those units. Good shot there on the artillery piece. Finish off that bike there. Takes off that unit there. Good shot there on the bike. And tank on tank. Trying to flip the property there. Now I got this tank heading up north as well. Battlecopter, infantry. Good strike down the capturing infantry squad, interrupts his capture. Interrupts his flip as well. And we've got now command copter there. Here engages the infantry unit there. Wounded tank falls on back. Good strike there on that tank. Tank anti-air. Anti-tank creeps way forward, falls back over there, gets a strike there in the anti-air. Gets that infantry unit there. Command copter does fall back, puts a round into that tank, giving him 33 energy. Okay, so some of these outlying units are trying to get multiple flips. This one has 2 capture progress remaining. This one, of course, has 10. So possible 2 flips next turn does stop that capture there. Bike, anti-air. APC does go down. Command copter does get good strike there on the tank. Good shot there. Tank, bike. Capture does pick up those 2 properties, so now he's at 18,000 versus 15,000. Finish off a lot of those units there. Not too much is left up here. You now have 55 energy, pretty close to a CO power. I've got this battlecopter migrating up north as well. No anti-air up here, nor on the left side, just like a battlecopter engage with. Another intake infantry. Tank. Does get a shot there and does finish the command copter, so no CO power. Meteor, bike, and another tank. Pretty much knocks out that command copter. Good strike up there. Got a max vet anti-tank. Get around there, finish off the infantry unit. You know, I'm so surprised this command copter didn't get finished off. At 1 HP, 1% HP, so anything can finish off with 1 shot. You always do a minimum of 1 damage, so even 1 health infantry unit should be able to finish it off. At this point in time, he could just sack it or delete it so he can deploy out another vehicle next turn. Artillery, bike. Gets a good strike on the infantry unit there. Tank push on the left side. And does wait the same tank there. I think 9 health is perfect fine to push forward. Is that bike there. Good strike there on the infantry unit. Finish it off there. Alright, flip that property there. That one does go down. Right now, Cyrus does have 101,000 field for just 67 for Zhao Titong. Bike, tank. Takes out some of these outlying infantry units there. CO's inside this tank there. Good strike on the anti-air. Put some rounds in the anti-air. Finish it off. Battlecopter pushes way forward. No counterless battlecopter in the moment. Tank, bike, infantry. Anti-air there. Good strike into that tank. Bike tank. Good strike there. Tank does go down. Bike head up north. Tank, bike. That one unit does go down. Command tank pushes down south. Gets a good strike there on that regular tank. Artillery bike. Takes out that bike there. Command tank push up north. Get some good strikes up here. Finish off that one unit. He's at 29 energy. Almost +1 CO zone. Also got this intake almost out of ammo again. Battlecopter infantry bike. Good strike right there. It looks like we just got a bit of build-up phase. Turn 44. Oh, this game's a long one. Good shot there, gets +1 CO zone, able to break through a little bit more easily. Does get that aim tank on top of the city there to get a resupply. Good strike there on the command tank. And we'll finish off the command tank there. Mech T-copter bike. Good strike there. Get some good hits there on those infantry units. Artillery head down south. Man tank does good strike there. Artillery piece head up north. Does put some rounds in that tank. There's a good number of artillery pieces there. Got triple artillery piece. Quadruple if you include the 4 health one. And anti-tank's creeping the way forward. Does pop a CO power up here. Reloads the CO unit into this tank down here. And those artillery pieces are just getting ripped apart. Take out some of these outlying units. Tank artillery piece pushing way forward. Bike. Mech tank bike. Right now it's 19,000 versus 15,000. This property is no longer despicable neutral. Battlecopter mech does merge those artillery pieces. There's an okay shot there on the anti-tank. Does finish off that bike. And right now, Cyrus is starting to run away with the game. Starts the turn 143,000 versus 57, has more than double his opponent's value in the field. Yeah, there's nothing much I can say at the moment. I think Cyrus has this game. Command Battlecopter now deployed in the field. Goes for anti-tank up north to help stabilize the region. Artillery pieces pushing to the bottom. Now let's go for another mech. Looks like Green's starting to threaten some of these properties in the middle there. Are a good way to help close out the game, get some extra income. Right now it's 20,000 versus 14. Got another rig in tank. I think the rig right now is meant for this Battlecopter. Is almost out of ammo, getting pretty low in fuel. Take the in the field, good strike there for the command copter. Those opponent's Battlecopter's still in range. Don't clear the left flank there. Battlecopter strikes the Battlecopter. Of course, that's oh yeah, doesn't take its ammo because it's the machine gun, not the rockets. Now it's turn 49. Looks like Red's not back out of the game just yet, but this game's pretty much over. He's now down to 40,000, less than 40,000 versus 162. Artillery, 8 tank. Does finish off some of those outlying units. Tank needs some resupply relatively soon. At this point in time, probably just gonna go for bomber spam and just close the game of bombers. Right now he is 10,000 income ahead. Does CO the anti-tank that's on top of the HQ. There's another anti-tank there. And you can really lock on this area indirect fire. So I think bomber's the way to go. Yeah, a command anti-tank on top of a HQ is going to be very hard to displace. Does go for a bomber. Maybe just to not spend infantry to keep the money up to keep on getting bombers out. Not necessarily submits them. I just simply go down the list and see what appears to be good, decent length. It just happened that he has a lot of good, decent length replays, where they go on for a decent amount of time, and they're not really bad to spectate, though he just doesn't surrender. Which is a bit of a problem, because at this point in time, just surrender. In pretty much an aiding game, there's always a player just refuses to surrender. And Von Ivan is basically for Capiris too, and I think PP Poo Poo is the person just doesn't want to surrender in Days of Ruin. And that's why I think Green should just go for bombers, just go for high tech. He has plenty of ground forces, just try to punch through with bombers. Get some good strikes there. Watches are capturing the HQ now, just end the game. Of course, that anti-tank is in range of the HQ. Probably take 3 more turns, join capture the other bike that's nearby. It will be at 8 health. And the bombers push way forward. Another bomber, of course, exploded on the field. Does CO on top of the anti-tank there. War tank back there. Just surrender. There was a dust around there. Joining capture there. Bomber push way forward. Does, of course, get +1 CO zone. Doesn't really matter at this point in time. And the rig does get on top of the airport. And everything just basically locked down. Only way, there's no way he can deploy out anything with his base there. He'll have to delete a unit on top from the anti-tank in order to get some deploy out there. And just finish the game with HQ capture, just end it. And looks like he's just gonna take time to just fire away. Might be possible for him to get the route, just 1 unit remaining at 5 health, and gets the route. There's Angrade saying, thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. I have time for one more replay tonight, but I do need to restroom before I get started with that last replay. Please give me one moment. And my apologies, I'm back. Let's see now. Let's find one without him. Because, of course, I cast him twice today, right? Let's see. Flyer info. Yep, this should do. It's also a bit of a naval map, so maybe we'll see some ships. Greetings everyone, and Great here with another Advance Wars Days of Ruin Tiny Wars replay. On the south side as the red Calder got Shu, level 3. On the north side as the teal Judy, we got Frozen. Calder has been nerfed from the Cartridge counterpart, or should I just say straight up balanced. He has a standard boarding cost of 50, 2 radius, no expansion, no energy, and only provides plus 25%, and 2 health every turn. Does cost funds. Judy is a custom CO, salvage specialist, 30% boarding cost, 3 radius, no expansion, no energy as well. Gives plus 20% offense, plus 10% defense, and you get 30% salvage of your opponent's units as you start doing damage. By the way, let's go and get started. This map, whoops, I hit my microphone pretty hard right there. I can see it is a triple base map. Okay, it's a triangle of stuff. 2 base and center is a quadruple base map. Got airports on the single base sides. Also got some harbors, so this is going to be very, very chaotic. I see compounds in the center. We also got some radar station for additional defense. Additionally, there is what appears to be a traversable naval path one side, the other side. Go right here, go across the under the bridges, and go over here. So left and right side are connected. So this may be a battleship map. Maybe we'll see some seaplanes. Guess we'll find out soon enough. Bike, infantry. So got a pair of bikes this turn. Calder currently just has infantry units on the field. And there's a lot of properties this map, so it's going to be pretty high funds this game. We already got 10,000 versus 11,000 at the moment. There's also a good number of harbors in the field. Looks like 6 harbors on the field. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Got a number of bikes there, so both players have got a good number of bikes. I want to see a lot of properties captured this turn. Calder skips the port capture, going straight for the comm tower. Got this comm tower being captured up as well. And these HQs are pretty close by each other, so we could see some sort of like naval escort play to go for the HQs. After all, battleships are just 2 tiles away. We got a bit of interrupt there. Got a tank up here. This is the first tank. Appears to be first tank. We do have a mech down here as well. Got a battle copter up here. I'm definitely gonna miss a lot of stuff because you got left, right, and center. Battle copter down here. Battlecopter gets a good shot there on the infantry unit. Of course, now the player has to worry about charging up CO powers. So their CO units are pretty disposable. One provides power and momentum, the other one provides income. Got a mech NT copter here. Duty's command take push down south, getting a little bit of salvage there. Got a battle copper down here. Anti-air right there. There comes 28 versus 27, so it's going to be a lot of valuable units on all flanks. Somebody can always go something expensive on one side and start doing some good work. How much do battleships cost again? Battleships do cost 25,000, so that is another range affordable. But it will basically be a, triple base skip if you go for a battleship at the moment, so both players need to capture more properties before they can start deploying on battleships. Or reasonably deploying on battleships. Calder has loaded himself up to his command copter, so now heading down south. Could see a cruiser here at the counter? Now a Duster down here, so, and artillery there. Artillery's just probably just eyeing the lockdown this region. The more look at this side of the map, we do have a mount here, a couple shores, so this is a bit of a choke point, so artillery can do quite nice, as well as anti-tank. Dusters, this is probably meant to counter the command copter. I think it's a good strike there. Anti-air. Battlecopter up here. Another mech, anti-air there. Did I say that one? A mech down here. Yep, my eyes are being pulled from all angles. I'm not going to do a good job casting this one. There's just way too many areas to keep track of. Forward over here. Somebody got deployed on the field. Tank. Anti-air up here. Main tank does fall back a little bit. Another anti-air up north. I don't know why, that looked like the mech didn't move there. I wonder if that was a fresh one, or I may have missed it being deployed, I don't know. Right now, both players have 32,000 income. Got artillery and anti-air in the bottom center of the map. Pushing up here, anti-air are there. Has 10,000 funds remaining. Battlecopter up here, pushing down south. I think a red should be able to push down south quite reasonably. There's a lot of infantry there. It does do some weight commands there. Got one despicable neutral property over here, as was over here. This one could be interrupted though. Duty's command taking her forward, trying to go for this salvage here. Needs to take out the command copter first. That is providing plus 25% defense as well as offense. But taking out good enough of those units there. Medium tank in the top middle. Over here, mech artillery. Artillery in a good defense position there. Tank there. This infantry unit could push forward, take out that one health one, and then the anti-air can hit the artillery piece. That won't be cost effective though. Mech is a good strike there. And as well, Calder has plus 25% offense, so these units going to be striking for a pretty good amount of damage there. Almost knocks out that battle copter. And Resident Overrun over here has a reasonable grasp over here as well. 36 versus 31, so it looks like Calder has gotten a decent amount of property flips. Double medium tank here as well. Mech, infantry. Trying to flip some of that port there. Grabbing the... If she can somehow get that seaport, then she can pull out a forward battleship in a very powerful position. Remember as well, Calder's HQ is right here, so she could overrun the HQ relatively soon. There's a Calder's command copter. Right now, Calder has 155,000 field and 148. Judy has less in the field, but she has possibly just go for the win. Capturing up multiple properties in the center. She may just need to stabilize this region with an anti-tank. Battleship could also be utilized there. Bomber now deployed on the flank. Looks like she's going to try to push this flank with a bomber. She could just try to solve this region. I think Judy's just trying to go for the win. The medium tanks will take a turn to push forward, giving Judy a turn to push before Calder can probably push her out those mediums. But she still has a lot of other forces as well to engage those mediums. Tank, medium tank down south. Pulls back off the HQ. HQ is not exposed, and a lot of squads can be utilized for capturing. A couple battle cops in flank. One of them can be destroyed by the anti-air. I think Judy should try to go for a battleship here and bring some shore bombardment. Finish out that battle copter there. Calder's making great headway over there. Not big contest though. Battlecopter. Anti-air. Artillery. Battlecopter, artillery, and base skip. Calder's medium tanks push the way forward. Judy's command tank is right there, so we could see some good salvage there. I feel pretty justified in suggesting the battleship right now with this assault. Not stand corrected, but correct. Got this battlecopter over here, an infantry unit. Judy may want to send some infantry over here, because right now she's losing a decent number of properties. It is 34 versus 36. She is gained grounds, I think most in the center. Yeah, she did flip this one property across the sea. Bomber did not get an engagement there. Judy's command tank rotate over there, not engaging these tanks. There's salvage there. And those are she will not push forward. He falls back a little bit there. Or almost entirely, I should say. A decent amount of infantry pushing over here. Has some artillery and infantry of her own. There's a battleship, but I thought a battleship here would have been better. Whoops. Bike, mech, and infantry. This gives a pretty good shot on the command tank. The command tank will likely go down. She does have a unit on top of the HQ, so she can quickly get a CO unit here, or could just pull the CO unit on the battleship. It could be a good idea to CO this tank there, even if it is pretty wounded, just to get the salvage going. So right now, Calder's advance will be supplemented with the offense, defense, and the health. It will be a powerful death ball right here. She has to blunt the assault, and she's going to blunt the assault, get the CO zone going to get the salvage. Not too many anti-airs in this region as well, so the bomber should be pretty safe push way forward. Bomber does not engage the anti-air. Would probably be in range of this anti-air if it strikes the same this anti-air. We'll see another battleship. What we'll see. Good strike there. Able to push a little bit of the flank. Got a gunboat here to help engage the battleship. Also up here as well. Looks like the gunboats will be charging against the battleship. Double war tank. Okay. Ends with 32, so infantry. Another gunboat there. Gains some good damage there. Artillery does go down, gets a good strike on the capturing infantry. This assault is basically done for, but did get a decent distraction there. Mech battlecopter. Bike. Mech. Auto right now is 37,000. Judy has 33. As CO'd inside of the medium tank here for Calder, and there's a CO bike by Judy. Bit of damage there, but that can get repaired on up. Takes out the anti-air. They also push right forward, down to 31 fuel. You now have a war tank anti-air. So 11,000 left in the funds, anti-air infantry. Calder makes good advances there. Start to turn with 39,000 in the bank, so he has plenty to play on the field. Right now, Judy ends with 215. Calder right now has 232 with another 14,000 to spend. And he has deployed out a full battleship over here as well. Bike, mech, infantry, mech. Tank falls back there. Does get a shot there in the anti-air. Battleship can retaliate next turn. Gunboat takes a good shot there from the battleship, but this other gunboat's in range. Strikes it, effectively knocking it out as well. Mech gets a good strike there. Anti-air falls back. Overall, probably just be a little bit defensive over here. As good amount of artillery, it's going to be a bigger choke point with both fires spanning out infantry. Got now a triple war tank ready to push on forward. Still got these non-medium tanks here, and of course with Calder, both those will be healed up no problem. Bike, infantry, duster down here. Gunboat over here, 9,000 still in the bank. Infantry, and I heard another gunboat up here. And looks like Red's starting to rotate over here, trying to close on in. A quick battleship, or maybe not so quick battleship, could be useful to help lock it down. Maybe a bomber here. Just have to first strike that anti-air. Gunboats got some damage on the battleship, just not a great amount. They also expended their ammo. These gunboats should just try to be annoying, just block bridges. Mess all they can pretty much be used for at this point in time. Carter ends the turn of 225 or 255 on the field. Judy will start the turn with 227. Of course, for day-to-day income, so they're pretty even. Judy just maybe slightly behind, but of course she still can take her turn to do work. Don't think using the gunboat to take out a gunboat would be a great idea, because it does, of course, consume all the ammo. But she is smashing through over here. Does bring her command bike over here to get the boosted strike, not to mention a bit of salvage there. Bomber blocks the battleship there, and picking away at it. Very good spot there for the bomber. The bomber has 2 rounds left, but no real big threat to take it out. In fact, the anti-air cannot range it, period. Got the river there, of course deep shore there, or deep sea. The only thing you can reach it is this shore here, but that's of course across the river. So that battleship is stuck, and not even in harbor. Pawn needs to delete the gun. Delete the gunboat, get out of cruiser, but still can't range it because the battleship is in the way. You have to delete both of these naval units to get there. Oh, there's a duster. I didn't see the duster. I am blind. Red is starting to really push down this bottom flank. There is now a battleship deployed out. Gunboat consumes ammo. Got this gunboat with plenty of ammo. Push forward, get a shot there. Maybe pull out another battleship. Maybe a bomber. If Judy goes for a bomber, then the battleship needs to strike the anti-air. But things that Judy could do is actually start eyeing to get the HQ again. Doesn't have a whole lot of infantry here. Got a wounded command bike, a wounded mech, a full health mech, and a full health bike back here. I am curious as well. Let's see. Let's get a bit of merge there. We'll do 46 damage. I wonder what she will eye down here. Good attacks by the max. Flipping radar. Does get a first strike there on the battleship. Sinks the battleship. Infantry creeping their way forward with our good amount of artillery support. Pushing it down right there. Currently has 112,000 in the field versus Calder's 130. Anti-tank. Anti-tank's definitely a good call. Maybe battlecopter as well. Got 2 gunboats here, but one is out of ammo. Oh, there's a third one here in range of the battleship. This battleship's going to take some fire next turn. This turn. I think as well, there's a need to take a push to the shore to get booster strikes with the gunboats. Oh, there's a third one there. So the battleship does get sunk. At this current rate, Red may need to get out a APC, maybe even pull out a temporary harbor as well as manually supplying. Base blocks with the gunboat. Still no real counter to the airport. Got 2 health anti-air, and the full health one does fall back. So a bomber can be a great way to stabilize the region. If she wants to stabilize the region, maybe just try to go for the wind. Nothing is in range to capture HQ, or no, this bike may be in range as well as this bike. both of them a bit wounded though. Infantry charging way forward into the rings of artillery, so this area is starting to go hot. Carter right now has 261 funds on the field. Judy will start the turn with 216. Interrupts that capture down there. Can't start. Looks like cannot start capturing the HQ this turn. Leaves the war tank on top of the HQ, just make sure it doesn't get occupied, doesn't have to clear it out. Bomber over here. I think trying to flank the area with a bomber and anti-tank, that is the one probably fired up on something that wasn't paying attention down there. It's also Veteran Z1. Gunboats heading up here, which can just block, just be annoying, block the bridges. Judy's command bike could get a very good amount of salvage next turn. Okay, strike on the artillery by the Duster. This game can still go either way. It is technically stronger and better right now for Calder, but Judy has a win condition. Got more anti-air push forward. Now the airport is effectively locked down. I think a medium tank would be best down here if she wants to try winning that area. Anti-air. War tank there. Helicopter's getting relatively low in fuel. And it is trying to flip multiple properties there, cause some issues. Anti-air gets a good strike there. Interrupt those captures. Just let that infantry unit finish off those units. Can start the capture of the HQ this turn. Nope, gets on top of the HQ. So Duster there, artillery gets a good strike there, war tank gets a good strike. Gunboat pulls back off the bridge. I think the gunboat should have stayed on top of the bridge, but looks like just want to get a shot onto the anti-air. Anti-tank not getting off the base there. Got another battleship over here, trying to provide some fire support, trying to go for the win. Tank infantry. Nice little counterattack there. Gets a good strike on the artillery piece. Command tank does go down, and there's nothing nearby to be sealed. Nothing on the HQ. Could send an anti-air up there. Good strike there. I think Calder maybe was stabilized. Has the gunboats now out of ammo, causing mobility issues. War tank and this regular tank are both just stuck there. Still would be good if the war tank engaged the command tank either way. Battleship is down to 1 ammo as well. So this area is just getting messy, but I think it's going in favor of Calder. Down here is basically lost. Calder's falling back up here, has a good amount of mass here, so Turquoise doesn't really have a lot of units to push forward, just hold the line, and looks like Turquoise has resigned. This is Angrade saying, thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. As mentioned beforehand, that shall be my last replay tonight, so everyone, thank you for watching, have a good evening, and get some